Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you some projects that you can do with wood. You can follow along as usual with the handout that's on Canvas. So the first project is really super simple. This is just a pile of scrap wood that I have collected. You can use popsicle sticks. I've got popsicle sticks here that are already colored or just plain wooden ones. If you're in Art 119, you'll have some balsa wood in your art kit. Or you can just try to find some scrap wood around your home, or if someone you know creates woodworking projects, you can gather some random wood pieces. And basically what you want to do is really try to play around with the materials before you attach them. So the base that I'm using is simply a cereal box that I've cut down. You could use another piece of wood, cardboard, mat board, any sturdy cardstock might even work. And think about the compositional strategies and elements of art and principles of design that we've talked about this semester. Maybe think about some of those principles before you actually start gluing things down. So the point of this activity is really to play around with texture, with the different types of wood, the densities of certain pieces of wood. I actually really like all of these curly things that are on the edges of this piece. So you don't have to paint the wood first or anything beforehand. I kind of like the different tones of wood just in its natural state. So play around with the different textures, colors, arrangements, see what you can come up with and create a wooden collage essentially. The next project that's on your sheet is a wooden assemblage, which is basically just a three-dimensional version of what I just showed you. So again, playing around with different types of wood. If you're in Art 119, your art kit has these flexible pieces of wood. But if you don't have wood, you can always collect sticks and pine cones, acorn tops, just find wood that is around you. And here, this is now a three-dimensional collage, which we call an assemblage. The other one that we did is just two-dimensional or more two-dimensional, and we call that a collage. And then when it becomes three-dimensional, it's called an assemblage. So again, in this case, think about, leaning some of the pieces of wood, stacking them in different ways. You can use hot glue, or you could use just regular white glue. They both work. And you can choose too if you want to keep it just the wood color, natural wood color, or you can paint it. And because wood is porous, you could even use watercolors on this, or the acrylic or tempera paints. So that's another option. Another option on that sheet that you'll find on Canvas with the written instructions, I mentioned geoboards. This is a plastic version of a geoboard, and they are used with little kids to help them learn geometry and different math concepts. It's basically just a plastic board with a bunch of pegs, and it comes with rubber bands. And if you've ever worked with kids and used geoboards with them in the classroom, these are super open-ended projects and a big crowd pleaser. So you can make one of these out of wood yourself. Here's a very simple example. You can take a piece of wood and just nail in some of the nails. And if you want, you could even collage or paint the base to make it a little bit more interesting before you nail in those nails. And then just include rubber bands, and you've got your own geoboard. You can also do the same project on a piece of circular wood, or just arrange your nails in a circular pattern, and that's just another way of using the geoboards kind of with that circular perimeter. Okay, and then I'm going to show you, for students in my art and imagination and creativity for young children, on the handout that's on Canvas, I noted a few pages in our textbook. On pages 43, 44, there's some basic safety tips if you do want to use woodworking with young children. And there are projects for making wooden sculptures on page 268, and wooden puppets also on page 248. So check out the written instructions on Canvas, and I have those page numbers for you. And then students in 119, you can check out our textbook. There is a project on page 112. Where you can create an aged looking photos and attach them to wood. So this gives you the instructions. That starts on page 112. So lots of ideas there. Also check out that handout, because I've also given you a link to Pinterest, a Pinterest board that I started with some other ideas for these woodworking projects. Okay, thanks a lot.